Sent from Disneyland, history in our hand. So much to say about yesterday and the decades we have spanned. Postcards from the park, this journey will embark. See what has changed and what remains on Sent from Disneyland. Sent from Disneyland.
Welcome to the Sent from Disneyland podcast.
Here age relives fond memories of the past.
If it's your first time joining us, welcome. On this podcast, we'll take a journey into the past and explore Disneyland, Disneyland history, and more, with mementos, snapshots, souvenirs, and postcards sent from Disneyland, from 1955 to the present. Let's start by thanking my patrons from patreon.com. You can join in at any level to support the show and receive snail mail from my trips to Disneyland and from my desk, plus some sneak peeks and bonus content. Special thanks to Random Olive, the first patron to this podcast, and to the rest of the e-ticket patrons, Tania, Eric Daniels, Monica Seitz Vega, Bill Dreffel, Scott Cagle, Russ Romano, Michael and Christina Cross, Angela Reynolds, and Sheila Harry. C-ticket patrons Serious Inquiries Only, Debbie Weinstein, Jennifer Schneep, Grace Coate, Patty Wolin, and Ben and Noel Bruning. B-ticket patron Joshua Bell, and to the A-ticket patrons Elise Sharp, Zealot Infinity, Alexis Robles, Angel DeBlock, Daps Magic, and the Beyond the Railroad podcast. I am your host, your post-host Clocky, and today we have 2 postcards sent from Disneyland. The front of our first postcard has Sleeping Beauty Castle at night. If you look closely inside the drawbridge, you can see one of the old shops. On the back it reads, Sleeping Beauty's Castle. Sleeping Beauty's enchanted castle stands guard over the entrance to Fantasyland, where guests cross a real drawbridge to enter this land of storybook and fantasy. It's postmarked October 18th, 1958, with a North Hollywood Pray for Peace cancel, and a 3-cent purple Liberty postage stamp, Scott number 1035. I assume they visited the park on Friday, October 17th, 1958, when park hours were from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. The weather was a high of 100 and a low of 61. Park attendance that day was 3,232. It's addressed to Harvey Morse and Marvella Morse of Pendleton, Oregon. It reads, Fry, dear Marvella, we are at Disneyland, and so many beautiful things to see you would enjoy so much. We put the whole day in and had lots of fun. Rode in trains, boats, sings they had, sure hot here, love, Ray, and Ava. The postcards for this week's episode are vintage versions of some of the 50th anniversary postcard pack created for Disneyland. I recently obtained all 12 postcards and was surprised by some of the image choices made for the postcards. I separated the postcards into 2 groups. The first group has parade images. The first float featured on these postcards is from the Parade of Dreams and has Tinkerbell sitting on a rooftop of a train with a stylized Main Street station behind her. She's waving at the crowd, and behind the float you can see the Magic Shop and a little slice of the Main Street Cinema. The next postcard has Simba and Nala on Pride Rock. The image is taken at the same location as the Tinkerbell float. Below Pride Rock is Rafiki. The strange thing about this image is both Simba and Nala have their eyes closed. I'm surprised they didn't have a better image taken for this card. The next Parade of Dreams postcard is the Princess Float, with Cinderella, Snow White, Aurora, Prince Philip, Prince Charming, and a royal attendant. This photo is again taken at the same spot in the parade route as the other 2 images. My favorite part about this postcard is that Aurora is wearing her blue dress. The last postcard of this parade has Mickey and Minnie dressed as a king and queen. They're standing on a float that looks like the balcony of Sleeping Beauty Castle. The other 2 parade postcards are focused on Block Party Bash. One of the postcards has Jessie and Woody from the Toy Story franchise, dancing in front of an oversized child's cassette player. The other postcard has Smitty from Monsters, Inc., with an oversized traffic cone and one of the Block Party Blast show-stop floats, which would open up with trampolines during a parade showstop. The odd thing about these postcards are the bad shadows created by the characters in the images. Also, although I enjoy more obscure characters getting highlighted, Smitty is an odd choice for a postcard pack. Add some flair to your mail by checking out stamps at Enfield Post. You can explore different stamp options on our Etsy site, grab some great deals by following the EP Sunday sales on Instagram, or create something special and have her design a stamp array for your invitation or celebration. You can head over to EnfieldPost.com and explore all the different vintage postage stamps you can use on your next card or letter. That's ENFIELDPOST on Instagram and EnfieldPost.com for your wedding and vintage postage needs. Enfield Post is the official postage stamp sponsor of the Sent from Disneyland podcast. The front of our next postcard has Sleeping Beauty Castle with guests on the drawbridge and the Matterhorn on the right-hand side. On the back it reads, Sleeping Beauty's enchanted castle stands guard over the entrance to Fantasyland, sharing the skyline with Disneyland Matterhorn. It's postmarked October 12, 1972, with a Loveland, Colorado cancel and a 6-cent Eisenhower postage stamp, Scott numbered 1393. I assume they visited the park on Sunday, October 8, 1972, when park hours were from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. The weather was a high of 73 and a low of 65. It's addressed to Mrs. Willis Martinson of Red Wing, Minnesota. It reads, Dear Marie, I rode back with Irene and we are taking in all the sights. Sunny and warm here and roses blooming. Emma didn't want to come along. We'll be home in 2 weeks and settle down for the winter. Best wishes, Alma. The second half of the postcard set focuses on Fantasyland. 2 of the postcards have golden ride vehicles. One is Jingles, the lead horse on King Arthur's Carousel, and the other is the Mad Tea Party with the golden teacup. Looking through the other gold ride vehicles for the 50th anniversary, they could have done 12 postcards on just those. The next postcard is a zoomed-in image of the gold and blue 3-circle Mickey with 50 written inside and Disneyland written on the banner below, which was the logo used throughout the celebration. It's even used at the bottom of all the postcards. The next 2 postcards have images of Sleeping Beauty Castle at night, one of the castle by itself, and another with guests watching the fireworks around the hub. Finally, the last postcard is of Sleeping Beauty Castle with the Matterhorn to the right, similar to the vintage postcard used for this half of the episode. It's fascinating that there are essentially 4 of the 12 postcards dedicated to Sleeping Beauty Castle, and 2 of those 4 are night shots. Also, looking at these postcards online, they were sold at the park for $5 in 2005. Using an inflation calculator, they would cost just about $8 now. Currently, the vintage pack of postcards, sold for the 70th anniversary, are $20 for 12 postcards. My incoming postcard is sponsored by the Art Throwdown. Art Throwdown, or ATD, is a craft hour on Instagram, starting at 9 p.m. Eastern or 6 Pacific. Art Throwdown is a wonderful community of artists who love to share their craft, from creating sticker postcards and coloring techniques to intricate paper cutting and unique crafting. It's always a treat to watch a show and occasionally get some one-of-a-kind postcards from the group. Each host brings something a little different to each show. I'll list some of the regular hosts, or you can follow Russ Romano 2021 on Instagram. The front of my incoming postcard has concept art for Pocahontas, drawn by Glenn Keane. It's a pencil sketch of Pocahontas running. It's postmarked May 22, 2025, with a Switzerland cancel, and 2 Helvetia stamps, one 100 Swiss franc stamp with a meerkat, and another 150 Swiss franc rabbit face postage stamp. It reads, Hey Clocky, I was in 2015 in Magic Kingdom in Orlando. It's so big. I'm a big Disney fan, but to see the castle in real was a big moment. Maybe I'll go next year to Disneyland Paris. It's not so far away. Best wishes, Nadia. Thank you so much for the postcard, Nadia. I agree the castle reveal is one of the best things at a Disney park. I remember seeing Shanghai's Enchanted Storybook Castle for the first time, both on the train to the park and walking down Main Street, and it was spectacular. This week I was on Geeks Corner. I'll put a link in the show notes to watch it on YouTube or to listen to it on Spotify. And Mr. Daps and I talked about the new bridge that'll go over Harbor Boulevard. I hope they keep Sleeping Beauty Castle hidden from that entrance, because it's great to see it for the first time walking towards Fantasyland. This is one of the reasons for the castle's size, so you don't see it before entering the park. Thanks for listening to Sent from Disneyland. If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe and tell your friends. It would also help to leave a 5-star rating and comment on whatever podcast platform you use. If you'd like to support the show financially, please check out our Patreon page at patreon.com/sentfromdisneyland. You can find me on Instagram and TikTok at Sent from Disneyland or my website, sentfromdisneyland.com. For questions and comments, send me a postcard addressed to Sent from Disneyland, P.O. Box 44, Hood, California, 95639. This podcast is not affiliated with Disney, the United States Postal Service, or any post office or Disney-related properties. Opinions expressed on this podcast belong to the host and guests of the Sent from Disneyland podcast. This podcast is produced and edited by Clocky McDowell, website designed by Misty McDowell, theme song was written and performed by Noah Sunday Lefkowitz. Take it away, Noah.